Welcome back to Nation of Glory, the channel where we don't just talk about wrestling, we live it, we feel it, we bleed it with the warriors who step through those ropes every single night. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because today we're about to take you on an emotional ride that's going to hit you straight in the soul. Grab your coffee, your tissues, whatever you need, because this is the story of a woman who refused to let the world tell her who she was supposed to be. This is the story of Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa who turned every single no into a symphony of yes. Picture this. It's December 2012. A 18-year-old girl from Livingston, New Jersey is walking into a wrestling school for the very first time. She's barely 5'3", maybe 120 pounds soaking wet, with a ponytail and these big brown eyes that still believe in fairy tales. Everyone around her is bigger, louder, rougher. The boys laugh when she says she wants to be a wrestler. Cute, they say. You'll be a valet, maybe a manager. Girls don't wrestle like that. But Deonna doesn't hear them. She hears something else. She hears the sound of her own heartbeat telling her this is home. She trains like a woman possessed. 6 days a week. Ice baths at 2 a.m. because her body is screaming. She learns how to take a bump on a ring that feels like concrete covered with a yoga mat. She learns submissions from men twice her size who try to break her just to see if she'll cry. She doesn't cry. Not once. She smiles through the pain because every time she locks in that first sloppy armbar, she feels it. This is what she was born to do. 2013 comes. She's 19. She's green. She's terrified. Her first match is in a VFW hall in front of maybe 47 people. The ring is older than she is. The lights flicker. Her gear is homemade. But when that bell rings, something magical happens. The little girl from New Jersey becomes the virtuosa for the very first time. She twists. She bends. She makes grown men scream, "I quit," in languages they didn't know they knew. The 47 people in that VFW hall lose their minds. And Deonna, she stands in the middle of that broken down ring with tears in her eyes because she finally understands, this is where she belongs. But belonging and succeeding, those are two different beasts. The independents chew people up. Tiny paydays, long drives, crappy motels, injuries that don't get you time off because there is no off. Deonna wrestles with a torn labrum. She wrestles with a broken hand. She wrestles with a heart that's starting to wonder if all this pain is worth it. She watches friends get signed to the big leagues while she's still scraping together gas money. She gets tryouts. She gets, almost. She gets, you're great, but we're looking for something else. And every single time, that little voice creeps in, maybe they're right. Maybe you're just not enough. Then 2018 happens. Impact Wrestling calls. They see something in her that the others missed. They give her a chance to be Knockouts champion. And Deonna doesn't just take the ball, she runs into the end zone, does a backflip, and plants a flag that says, "I was always enough." She becomes the longest reigning Knockouts champion in Impact history. She defends the title in Japan, in Mexico, in front of crowds that chant her name like she's a goddess. She locks in the Venus de Milo and makes legends tap. For the first time, the world is forced to say her name right, Deonna Purrazzo. The virtuosa, the best technical wrestler on the planet, man or woman. But wrestling has a cruel sense of humor. 2020. The pandemic shuts the world down. Contracts get weird. Politics get weirder. And just when Deonna is on top of one mountain, she's told she's being released. No warning. No goodbye. Just a phone call that rips the rug out from under her. Imagine that. You finally prove every hater wrong. You finally silence every doubt. And then someone takes it all away with 3 words. "We're letting you go." Most people would have broken. Most people would have gone home, cried to their mom, and started applying for normal jobs. But Deonna, she gets mad. Not bitter, mad. The kind of mad that fuels revolutions. She posts a video on Twitter that breaks the internet. No tears. No begging. Just fire. "I am the best damn technical wrestler in the world, and someone is going to be smart enough to see it." Millions of people watch it. Millions of people fall in love with her right there. AEW hears her. Tony Khan hears her. And in 2024, Deonna Purrazzo walks through the tunnel in her hometown of Newark, New Jersey, with 15,000 people screaming her name so loud the building shakes. Her mom is in the front row crying. Her fiancé Steve is ringside losing his mind. And when she steps into that ring for the first time as All Elite, something shifts in the air. You can feel it. This isn't just a debut. This is destiny cashing a check that was written back in 2012 in a freezing wrestling school when an 18-year-old girl refused to quit. And now she's not just fighting for herself anymore. She's fighting for every little girl who's ever been told she's too small. She's fighting for every dreamer who's been released, overlooked, counted out. She's fighting for every person who's ever had the world take something away from them and still found the strength to stand back up. Every time she locks in that armbar, every time she hits the Cosa Nostra piledriver, every time she stares down someone twice her size and makes them tap, she's screaming without words, "You don't get to write my story. I do." She's headlining cards now. She's main eventing Dynamite. She's walking out with Mariah May, with Toni Storm, with the biggest names in the business, and she's not backing down from any of them. She's got that same ponytail, those same big brown eyes, but now there's steel behind them. Now when she says she's the Virtuosa, the whole world nods and says, "Yeah, we know." And the most beautiful part? She's still the same girl. She still answers every single DM from kids who tell her they want to wrestle. She still stops for every fan picture. She still calls her mom after every match. She still gets choked up when she talks about how far she's come. Because Deonna never forgot where she started. She never forgot the pain. She carries it like armor. So when you watch her wrestle now, you're not just watching a match. You're watching redemption in real time. You're watching proof that the things meant to destroy you can become the very things that make you unstoppable. You're watching a woman who took every closed door, every heartbreak, and turned it into the most beautiful, yes, the wrestling world has ever seen. This is why we love this sport, fam. Not because of the flips or the fireworks. But because every now and then, someone like Deonna Purrazzo comes along and reminds us what it really means to fight. Not just in a ring, but in life. So the next time you see her music hit, the next time those lights go purple and gold, the next time, Virtuosa, echoes through the arena, do me a favor. Stand up. Cheer a little louder. Because you're not just cheering for a wrestler. You're cheering for every single person who's ever been told they weren't enough, and proved the world wrong anyway. Deonna Purrazzo didn't just make it to the top. She dragged her entire past with her, every scar, every doubt, every tear, and she laid it at the feet of Destiny and said, "Here. This is what I'm made of." And Destiny looked at her and said, "Welcome home." That's the story of the Virtuosa. That's the story of a girl from New Jersey who refused to let the world dim her light. And Nation of Glory, we're just blessed to be here telling it. If this story moved you the way it moved me, do me a favor, smash that like button, drop a comment and tell me who your favorite comeback story in wrestling is. Hit that notification bell because we drop emotional bangers like this every single week. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to become who you were always meant to be. This is Nation of Glory, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. I love every single one of you. Peace.